Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Vintage Cube Supreme Draft. Now, I think the picks here are obvious. We're definitely taking a Mana Crypt and probably Commit to Memory, because it's the only good blue card in this pack. We could also take Divining Top or Groll Signet. Both of those would be good in combination with a Mana Crypt, but I think I'm going to take Commit to Memory. After seeing how broken Memory can be in some decks, I think any draw 7, no matter how expensive, is probably good in this format. So in this pack we have an Empty the Warrens, a Looter Eel Core, Volcanic Island, Sneak Attack, Snapcaster Mage. I think I'm going to go with Snapcaster and Volcanic Island. Those are just probably the two most likely cards I'm willing to play in this pack. Sneak Attack, Looter Eel Core, Empty the Warrens could all be good, but we're going to try this. Okay, so now we have... There's a channel, but I don't really think I'm going to be playing green. Frost Titan is good. There's also a Banefire. I could take Channel Banefire now that I'm looking at this pack. Factor Fiction is good if we want to stay in blue only, but Demonic Tutor is very strong, and we could just be blue-black, not even need the red. I just like Volcanic Island because blue-red and blue-black duels are very important in a format with High Tide like this. So there's a High Tide. I'm kind of tempted to try and do Storm again. And if I was to do Storm, I think I would either take, out of this pack, Metamorph or Treasure Cruise. Signet could also work, because it can fix for black. We could also take Thassa's Oracle High Tide and mill ourselves out. You know what? I'm going to try that. We're going to try doing like a Storm style thing this time. So we'll take Venser. I could take several things here. I could take the Mirari Conjecture if we wanted to be on a kind of mid-rangey plan, but I think I would only play this card if I had like Time Walk or Time Warp and was reasonably able to cast it. I think the pick here is Venser and Lightning Bolt. Fractured Identity, there's an argument to be made there as well, but we're going to go with Venser Lightning Bolt. Okay, Mox Ruby is good. There is another Commit to Memory. There's also a Mind's Desire and a Mana Vault. Mind's Desire is like a great Storm win condition, and with enough zero mana like spells like Mox and Mana Crypt and stuff, you can just turn one Mind's Desire into, I don't know, Frost Titan Venser. That's probably good enough. So we'll take those two. I'm a little sad to pass out on the Mana Vault, though I don't think it's going to be as important. Second Mind's Desire could be crazy. There's a reason this card is restricted in Vintage. So the other question here is, do we take Remand or do we take Flooded Grove or Flooded Strand, not Flooded Grove? We could also take another big thing to Mind's Desire into, but I think I'm going to take Remand because I want to have some kind of 2-mana interaction, and Remand is very good at that. Okay, another Remand. There's a Thrawn Dynamo, and Dismember is not bad. I think I want Factor Fiction, though. Yeah, I'm going to take Factor Fiction and Remand. Brain Freeze. This is going to be, I think, an incredible Storm deck. We still have 9 packs to go as well. We have a High Tide. We just need some draw 7s like a Time Twister or a Time Spiral, I think. Everflowing Chalice is probably the best card in this. Oh, well, there's a Yogg-Will. I like totally blanked on Yogg-Will because it's way over here on this side of my screen. I'm going to take Brain Freeze Yogg-Will for what I hope are obvious reasons. Vryn's Prodigy is a very good looter. There's also another Frost Titan we could take. I don't think we have enough cheap spells to power up a Dig Through Time. I've never really liked Yawgmoth's Bargain in any form of Vintage Cube, this one included. Don't have enough artifacts for Metalworker, so I'm going to take Jason Frost Titan. There's an Urza, Lord High Artificer, which can turn all of our artifacts into Mox Sapphires, which is kind of nice. There is a Ancestral Visions as well. We could take Ulamog, because that's just a threat that, like, if we Mind's Desire into Ulamog, that's going to win the game. Urza is another 5-mana spin at a Mind's Desire, which I kind of like. Ancestral Visions, I think, is way too slow, especially in a format with actual Ancestral Recall. We could take Blood Crypt to try and fix for Demonic Tutor Yogg-Will. We have 2 Frost Titans. I still think it's correct. I'm going to take these two. Oh my goodness. Mox Sapphire, Mox Pearl. Double Mox pack. Well, sometimes you get a pack like this, and it's kind of just a gimme for what we're taking. Especially on-color blue Mox is going to be amazing in this deck. Okay, there is a Consecrated Sphinx, Brazen Borrower. I like Thoughtseize, though we have no way to fix for it. Fast Bond could actually be incredible, but we have no way to play a Fast Bond. I think the pick here is probably Brazen Borrower, Grim Monolith, because Grim Monolith is effectively a ritual, but also if we play a Grim Monolith turn 1 off of a Mox Sapphire and a land, we can probably, like, do a whole bunch of crazy shenanigans. Because that's like a turn 2 Frost Titan right there, or a turn 2 Mind's Desire. Yeah, I'm going to take those 2 cards. Oh my goodness, so there's a Gush and a Lotus Petal. More free spells. Misty Rainforest would be good, Desperate Ritual could be okay, but at this point I'm not even sure we're playing red. Snapcaster Mage is good, but we don't have that many good Snapcaster Mage targets. Like, I think High Tide's probably our only one at this point. So, Lotus Petal Gush it is. Now in this pack there's a Show and Tell, there's also a Tendrils. Kind of on like Tendrils Glenalandra, because this lets us be blue-black, splashing for like Demonic Tutor, Yogg-Will, Tendrils. The other option is taking Tendrils and Badlands, but we're probably not playing red, so I think Glenalandra and Tendrils are the play. We may not even be playing black. Like, I think our deck is probably that good. Past in Flames is a potential different thing we could do. I think we take Chart a Course and Consecrated Sphinx, or Chart a Course and Sphinx of the Steel Wind. We have a lot of 6 mana plus spells. I think I'm actually going to take Chart a Course and... Do we have any cards we want in the graveyard? Like, absolutely want them in the grave no matter what. I don't think so. I think I'm just going to take an off-color Signet. Well, I guess it's technically correct to take Past in Flames. Yeah, we need... like, there's some chance we could play red. It's not super high considering there's only 2 packs left, but Ancestral Recall. Holy crap. Well, we're definitely taking Ancestral Recall. The question is, what is our other card in this pack? We don't need Forests. I guess I could take Creeping Tar Pit, but I don't want to play tap lands. We'll just take Vampiric Tutor. Now we have great 1-mana spells. Last pack, I could take Snapcaster and... could take Dimir Signet. It wouldn't be a bad one. We could also take another Lightning Bolt, but I don't think I'm playing red at all. I don't think I'm playing this Volcanic Island. Artifact mana is a little bit sketchy because we are playing High Tide, but I'm not going to take another huge threat, I don't think. I think 1 Ulamog and 2 Frost Titans is enough. Yeah, let's do Snapcaster Dimir Signet. And I think this deck basically builds itself. Okay, so we need to cut... What do we need to cut? We need to cut 4 cards? 5 cards. We need to cut 5 cards. So having 2 Mind's Desires I think is insane. Because if you Mind's Desire into a Mind's Desire, it counts the Storm from all of the Mind's Desire. You're just going to play your whole deck. Not to mention we have Ancestral Recall. So 2 Remands, 2 Snapcasters I think is great. I actually don't think I need Vampiric Tutor. I may not need black at all. In fact, I could play only blue lands and drop Demonic Tutor and like Yogg-Will and just try and like storm into a Mind's Desire into Tendrils. That's probably not good enough. So I'll think about the black cards here for a second. Grim Monolith is a little bit awkward. We also just have Brain Freeze, so like we don't even need Tendrils. And if we don't even need Tendrils, we don't even need Yogg-Will. Yogg-Will's like kind of okay with Lotus Petal. I think it would be way easier to play if I had Black Lotus. I don't think I play Urza. I don't think I'm gonna play Grim Monolith. Even though it does accelerate our mana quite a bit. Well, we could untap with 6 mana on turn 2. That's gotta be good enough to try, right? Plus there's always the chance that we like Mana Crypt Grim Monolith turn 1 with a couple of Moxes and a land, and then just like untap and turn 2, I don't know, Ulamog. Okay, so I need to cut 3 cards. Ulamog does not shuffle back in, so I could just Brain Freeze myself into a Thassa's Oracle. That is a possibility. I kind of want to try it without playing black. Because like Mind's Desire into Ulamog is going to win the game. We can also Mind's Desire into a Brain Freeze, and that will likely win the game. And that cuts down on our... Like, High Tide Swamp is a terrible hand, and that won't happen this way. Even though we have great Black Storm cards, I actually think it's better that we can just run Mono Blue. So, Mox Sapphire instead of an island. Mana Crypt, Mox Pearl, and Mox Ruby for a couple more islands. We're not playing Volcanic, because we don't need to play red. Maybe we should play Urza over like Venser or Brazen Borrower, but those cards are great. I'll try playing Urza over, we'll say second Frost Titan. I think we're going to try this deck like this. Double Mind's Desire, let's go. Mono Blue Storm. I think one of the only ways that this deck got better besides the obvious Black Lotus or anything like that is if we had Frantic Search. Like if we had gotten a couple of Frantic Searches, this deck would, I think, be literally unbeatable. Because we would just like turn one Storm off no matter what. Alright. We are on the draw. Not quite. I think we're going to mulligan. I like this hand a lot better. This is a potential turn one commit if we need to. I think we would play out land Mox Sapphire and leave up Remand first. Alright, opponent turn one, Soul Ring. We untap and draw Chart a Course. So play an island, play Mox Sapphire, pass the turn. Basically, we'd remand anything that gets played here. Okay, I'm not going to remand a Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal is one of those cards that I look at and I go, wow, because Black Lotus is such an amazingly powerful card that they printed 1/3 of a Black Lotus, and it's still really good. Okay, opponent sacks Lotus Petal into a Leovold, and we're going to remand. We draw an island. Pass the turn, we untap, draw another island. So, if I play an island, play a Mana Crypt, that takes us up to 5 mana. I'm okay with this. Pass the turn. I think I would rather commit a spell than commit Soul Ring, especially with my opponent having Leovold. If my opponent passes and does nothing, I think I will commit Soul Ring. Sure, they can Inquisition. All they can take is Chart a Course, and we're not too hurt by that. So commit Soul Ring, play around Daze. Opponent mana leaks, that's fine. Okay. We untap, Mana Crypt, Tails never fails, we win the flip. We draw Brazen Borrower. So play an island, and the question is, do we just fire off Memory? Because the alternative is like Brazen Borrower, bounce Soul Ring. I think I'm just going to fire off Memory, honestly. It's bad because my opponent's going to get to use their cards first. But I think this is an okay draw. We'll save Mox Ruby. We're almost to the point that, like, we can combo off. Okay, opponent plays in Mox Emerald, Dimir Signet, Lotus Petal. We could also just die to a Storm card, because doing a draw 7 into nothing else and having no free counter spells in your deck is very risky in a format like this. Oh, I really hope they don't have Leovold. Okay. Opponent does not. We untap, Mana Crypt, Tails never fails. Heads, we lose the flip. We draw Mox Pearl. So we could Factor Fiction and then go back up to 5 mana. I think I'm going to Chart a Course. We get a High Tide and Glenalandra Archmage. I'm going to pitch Snapcaster here. Play an island. Play Glenalandra. Opponent is casting a big spell. Hardcast Force. Okay. Well, we can pass the turn. Next turn we can make a ton of mana and cast a Factor Fiction. Opponent passes to their second main and are in the tank. Okay, Mana Crypt. Tails never fails. We lose the flip. Draw an island. Play an island. Okay, play out Urza, because this lets us activate Urza. Opponent has a counterspell, sure. Alright, on our opponent's end step, we're going to cast Factor Fiction. Oh, that's a good Factor Fiction. Yeah, that's a good Factor Fiction. Opponent scoops it up. I think with this much fast mana, I probably should be playing this Frost Titan. And I can probably go down Urza versus my opponent. Well, Urza versus my opponent's deck's kind of reasonable. Commit to Memory may not be. I'm going to cut Urza. Hopefully I don't regret that. So opponent gets to be on the play. We got really lucky that our opponent wasn't able to do anything too crazy after we gave them a draw 7 and a turn. Like, I think we got excessively lucky because most decks in this format, I think, could just straight up kill you after doing that. So, I'm not going to say that I played particularly well or anything, because I don't think I did. No Inquisition, just pass. No Inquisition, just pass. Unbelievable. So they're going to take Ancestral Recall, because, like, what else do you take here? So there goes Recall. Opponent goes down to 17. We untap, we draw Brazen Borrower. So play Island, play Mox Ruby. Pass the turn, leave up Remand. Opponent plays an Island. And passes. We untap. Draw Dimir Signet, play an Island. I could play out Dimir Signet. My opponent could have Mana Leak, though, and then if they have a play, we're probably screwed, so I'm just going to pass. I'll try and flash in Brazen Borrower on my opponent's end step, provided they don't give me something that I need to remand or unsummon. So opponent plays an Island, they pass, cast Brazen Borrower. If they interact with this, that should let us get down Dimir Signet safely and then have remand. Okay, Brazen Borrower resolves, we untap. We draw Charticourse, so go to combat. Attack for 3. No blocks for our opponent. Play Dimir Signet. Pass the turn. We could have cast Charticourse there, but I think my opponent actually would have countered a Charticourse. And next turn we can have Charticourse with Remand backup or have Venser if we want. It's kind of nice because we can sort of play this tempo game with Snapcaster / Brazen Borrower beats. Opponent plays an Everflowing Chalice, kicked 1 time. I think I am actually going to remand this. Though this could be bait. We draw High Tide. Opponent passes, we untap and draw an Island. Go to combat. Attack for 3. So we have 5 mana. We could High Tide and have 7 mana. I could High Tide and just cast Frost Titan, playing around Daze, and I think I'm going to. Because, like, High Tide into a Frost Titan is a completely reasonable thing to do. It might be right to tap the blue mana here, but I can just keep my opponent off of black or blue, or black or green. So my opponent is pitching something to force. Okay. Throwing away a Seagate Stormcaller. They're down to 10 life. Opponent replays Everflowing Chalice. We untap. We draw Snapcaster Mage. So we go to combat. Attack for 3. Opponent goes to 7. Charticourse. Draw Lotus Petal. And I'm going to play out Lotus Petal because Lotus Petal lets us leave up Venser or Snapcaster for remand. If we don't some reason want to Snapcaster Ancestral, which we do. I think I am going to Venser. This is a very expensive play. And we're hitting them for 5, and then we'll have 2 lethal threats with Snap Remand backup. Go to combat. Attack for 5, take our opponent to 2. And I think Snap Remand is slightly safer than Play Glenalandra and Hold Up Activation. Simply because Snap Remand could hit a creature spell. Not that I think they would have a creature that could deal with this, but you never know. Opponent is going to Tinker. Snapcaster. Target Remand. Remand. Alright. That's a round 1 victory for us. I'll see you guys in round 2. Alright. Round 2, here we go. We are on the draw for round 2. I think this hand is a little bit slow, so I'm going to mulligan. I like this one a lot better. I will keep... Going to put back Glenalandra Archmage. Opponent starts Mox Sapphire, Swamp, Grim Monolith. Pretty good. Draw an island, so start Island, Ancestral Recall. Opponent has Force, pitching Spellseeker. Okay. Preordains. Plays an island. Night's Whisper. So they are also probably a storm list of some kind. Play Grim Monolith. This might be the legendary hardcast Gush hand. 6 mana, opponent plays a Consecrated Sphinx. We untap and draw Frost Titan. Opponent gets to draw 2 cards. Play an island. Play a Frost Titan. Tap Consecrated Sphinx. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Mox Ruby and an Ancient Tomb into a Duretti. They're going to sack an artifact to kill Frost Titan and pay mana so they actually can kill Frost Titan. Alright, this is unfortunate. We draw Brain Freeze. Well, I guess I'm going to go for it. Go ahead and Gush. We get a Commit to Memory. So let's go ahead and commit the Sphinx. That might make my opponent counter. Yes! Yes! Brain freeze you? Did you draw too greedily with your Consecrated Sphinx? Can you handle having 15 cards milled? I mean, we have basically nothing, but we get to at least see their deck. They do have a Force of Negation as well. And a Mind Twist. Deck's pretty nasty. They play a Jace. They Fate Seal us. They hit us for 4. Okay. We untap. Draw Dimir Signet. Opponent does not draw, interestingly enough. Play the Dimir Signet. Pass the turn. Opponent flashes in a Hull Breacher. Okay. Unless they have a Time Twister, I don't think their clock is going to be fast enough. No, it is. It is. Never mind. So unless we have a way to stop their creature from attacking, like another Frost Titan for us, I don't think we can win now. We draw Mox Sapphire. Play an island. Untap Grim Monolith. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a land, Fate Seals us, and I think we have this turn to draw exactly Frost Titan. Okay. They kill Grim Monolith. I think we're still on exactly... oh, wait, we're not running 2 Frost Titans main deck, so I don't even have Frost Titan to draw. Dang. Very close. Alright. Second Frost Titan in, probably for Urza. And we'll try like this. So opponent is kind of a Dimir control-ish deck with Mind Twist and Ashiok and all that kind of jazz. Can't say I really like this hand. I think we have better 6s. Yeah, this counts. What is that, a turn 2 Frost Titan? We'll put back Chart a Course. Start Island. Mana Crypt, Grim Monolith, pass the turn. Now we could remand here if my opponent just like crazy ritualed into a Mind Twist or something like that, but... Okay, Mana Crypt. We'll say... Best top deck here, I think, is Mox Sapphire. Tails never fails. We win the flip. Draw an island. Play an island. We can play around Daze, but we can't play around Force. So play Frost Titan. We have the option of tapping Mana Vault or tapping Island if this resolves. And I think we gotta tap Mana Vault just because. Opponent should have difficulty dealing with a resolved Frost Titan. They're not going to be able to pay for Mana Vault for a very long time, and we're going to have Remand backup for anything they could possibly have to kill it. Like, I don't think Snuff Out is in Vintage Cube. Tails, we win the flip. Opponent missed their second land drop. Play an island, go to combat. Attack for 6. Now your island doesn't untap. Pass the turn. Mana Vault does a damage to... Oh, no. Yeah, it does a damage to them. Cool. That worked. Frost Titan's pretty good. Especially on turn 1 or 2. So moving on to game 3. Opponent will be on the play for this one. This is another Ancestral Recall hand. They choose to begin the game with 7 cards in hand. I think I'm going to mulligan. The hand was very hard to mulligan, but still found a way to do it. I don't think I can go all the way to 4, so we're going to put back an island, and I should have kept the recall hand. I don't know what I was thinking. We either put back Lotus Petal or we put back Thassa's Oracle. And I think we put back Thassa's Oracle. Opponent starts Steam Vents tapped, Mox Ruby. Should have gone with the recall hand. Would have been fine. We're going to play Island Lotus Petal because I do want to leave up Remand. Yeah, I will remand a Thief of Sanity. Card's pretty good. We draw another Island, which is not good. We draw Ancestral Recall, which is very good. I should have played the other Island first to play around Daze. Alright. Wasn't relevant. Play Mox Sapphire. Pass the turn. Next turn we can High Tide into a Frost Titan. And my opponent didn't appear to have free counter spells. They play Dak Faden and take Mox Sapphire. We untap and draw Commit to Memory. Play an island. And at this point, I think I'm going to just Snapcaster Ancestral Recall. Main phase, because we don't really have any counter spells or anything. Pass the turn. Next turn, we're probably going to try and High Tide out a Frost Titan. Opponent Night's Whispers. Loots. We'll get to see a ridiculous number of cards. Discard Emrakul. Alright, so we're probably not dying to Show and Tell, at least. They play Tolarian Academy into a Mana Vault. That is a lot of mana. And opponent is passing. We untap and draw Mox Pearl. So play an island. And I'm going to try attacking Dak Faden first. See if that makes them do anything. It does not. Play Mox Pearl. And I think I'm just going to pass the turn, leaving up Commit or Venser. Opponent plays Polluted Delta. They're going to play Ashiok. Okay, I'm going to try and commit this. If I Venser it, they can just replay it. Okay, they're cracking Polluted Delta, so they probably have something they can... Oh, they're cracking Polluted Delta, I think, just so they don't shuffle away Ashiok, because they want to draw Ashiok. Okay. 5 mana. Second Ashiok? Are you kidding me? Okay. Nothing I can do about that one. Opponent exiles the top 3 cards of our library, hitting Jace, Unraveler of Secrets, Ancestral Recall, and Charticourse, I think? Or no, they hit Charticourse and an island. So we untap, we draw an island, play an island, and we could go up to 9 mana if we wanted to. I think I'm just going to try hard casting a Frost Titan here. And keeping Academy tapped, because that's a lot of mana. Opponent has a commit. Okay. Go to combat. Oh, they're going to roll over Frost Titan with Ashiok. I guess we hit Ashiok at this point. So my opponent should be able to draw and play a second Ashiok if they want. Opponent does not untap Mana Vault. Upticks Ashiok, hitting Ulamog and Frost Titan. Oh, is this a Mind Twist? Yeah, it was a Mind Twist. There was some notion that I should have like gushed in response, but we're probably just done. Factor Fiction. Go to combat and attack our opponent. They only have 1 card in hand, and the only free counter spell they could have would be Daze, so I think I'm going to Factor Fiction right now. Mind's Desire, Mana Crypt, Mox Ruby. Question is, like, what could we even... I guess we could Mind's Desire into Brain Freeze. I'm going to take pile 2, and I'm going to play a land right now, in case I draw another land. So pass the turn. I think we're going to lose to Ashioks, though, because my opponent is milling us for, like, 9 right now. Opponent takes a damage from Mana Vault. They hit another Snapcaster along with Dimir, Signet, and Island. Oh, and they take 1 card we don't know about. That might do it. I think if we draw another 0 mana play, there's some chance we could win. So start with Grim Monolith. Grim Monolith resolves. Play Mox Ruby. They would just counter the draw 7, so our only play here is Mind's Desire. With 2 spells cast before it. Oh, if we hit Thassa's Oracle, which I believe is still in the deck, unless my opponent took it with Thief of Sanity, we could win that way. I think my opponent is thinking about using Glenalandra Archmage to counter this. Thassa's Oracle. That's a card they can't counter. Island. Island. Play an island, and cast Thassa's Oracle? And I think that wins the game. Did we just win with Thassa's Oracle? From our opponent milling us? Oh, yes. Put Brain Freeze on top of our deck. We win! Calculated. Alright. Moving on to round 3. That should not have happened. But we found a way to win, so we did. That was pretty great. Yeah, that relied on my opponent not hitting Thassa's Oracle with that Thief of Sanity activation. And if I was my opponent and I cast a Mind's Desire and my opponent had 5 cards left in deck and they were going to be able to cast 3 of them, I probably would have used Glenalandra Archmage to counter 2 of the copies. I don't think I would have let them cast that many spells. I know my opponent was probably thinking, well, I have Glenalandra, so if they hit anything that could kill me, I can probably counter it. But we hit a creature spell that killed them, so... Alright, we'll play first. I mean, it's a turn 1 Brazen Borrower. I think we can do better, though. This may or may not be better. I think I'm going to keep just because of the high density of islands here. I would like to draw fast mana. I'd also like to be on the play for once. But that's not happening this league. Opponent starts Ancient Tomb, Mox Sapphire, Hull Breacher. And I'm pretty sure that means we lose, because we have no way to answer that. I can flash in Snapcaster to block, in theory. And if my opponent just has Time Twister, it's game over. Ponder. Okay. Opponent gets to Ponder. It's pretty good. They play Polluted Delta. Crack Polluted Delta into an island. Preordain. Okay. They hit us for 3. We untap. Draw Grim Monolith. Play an island. Pass the turn. We gotta go with the old Ambush Viper plan, because if we can't draw cards, we're basically stuck with hoping for a Frost Titan we can cast off the top. When it plays Scalding Tarn, cracks Scalding Tarn, and gets a basic island here. They're gonna Bribery us, and then get Ulamog. Okay. I could remand this, but I actually think Hull Breacher needs to die. And and they would just bribery me again next turn. There is some possibility. It is non-zero. It is not very large at all, but there is a possibility we could beat an Ulamog. Alright, but we can't beat a Frost Titan. So bribery sucks. I'm going to bring in another Frost Titan, and I think over Urza still. We get to be on the play this time, and hopefully with a much better hand. That is not a much better hand. We definitely have better hands than that. Oof. I mean, this is maybe a fast Frost Titan. I'm going to 5. Alright. Put a Thassa's Oracle and an island back. Start by playing an island. I'm going to hold Mana Crypt for a turn or two. If we draw a Mox next turn, it'd be land, Mox, Mana Crypt. That would not be enough. Double Mox opener into what? Ashiok, exiling Island, Grim Monolith, Factor Fiction. Draw an island, play an island. I guess I should play Mana Crypt now while they don't have a counterspell. Pass the turn. This is probably the most awkward Supreme Vintage Cube hand I've ever had. Just because we didn't do anything for so long. Okay, opponent upticks Ashiok, hitting Mox Sapphire, Mind's Desire, and Ancestral Recall, all of which are fantastic cards. Mana Crypt, Tails Never Fails. We win the flip. Draw Mox Pearl. So play an island, play a Mox Pearl, and play a Frost Titan that is, in theory, way too late. I'm going to go ahead and concede because I can't beat an active Ashiok with no cards in hand. That was a very anticlimactic game 3. But I hope you guys enjoyed this iteration of Supreme Vintage Cube Draft. I know I did. We did some pretty broken things this time, and it was a ton of fun. So if you like this video, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you are so inclined. It'd mean the world to me if you did. And remember, you can always follow me on Twitch. Same username over there as you find me on here. I stream Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, U.S. time zones. The upcoming week is Christmas week, so, yeah, I just realized that. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!